1050.
KMOX News Time, 8:04. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Michael Calhoun. Clouds and sun, 36 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Wait a second. We are a great sports town. What is going on here?
Who needs the Rams? St. Louis is officially launching its bid for a Major League Soccer franchise.
This is a sport that St. Louis has every reason to be in at the professional level.
Business and sports leaders are part of a brand new coalition called MLS to STL, including St. Louis Blues president Chris Zimmerman, who is speaking first to KMOX News about the effort. I asked him,
is the list that we see of the people on the MLS to STL committee maybe a beginnings of an ownership group?
Don't know. I got no idea on that one.
No projection.
All I would tell you is I think what you have in that group is a lot of very well-seasoned people around the sports world. In the past, I think it has been a challenge of who might step forward. I think there will be meaningful competition to have the opportunity now.
Okay, baseball fans, spring training physicals started an hour ago in Jupiter, Florida. Our Chris Raby is there live.
Yeah, Debbie, the guys are getting their physicals taken care of. There will be a clubhouse meeting at 11 o'clock Eastern time today, and then pitchers and catchers will hit the field for their first official workouts of the 2016 spring. Adam Wainwright, Michael Waka among the guys who will throw bullpen sessions today under the watchful eye of Mike Matheny, Derek Lilliquist, and their staff. Meanwhile, the position players will be back on field too, still informally working out. They will take some live batting practice. The first full squad workouts will be on Tuesday. Covering the Cardinals live in Jupiter as pitchers and catchers take the field for their first official workouts. Chris Raby, KMOX Sports.
The future of the Edward Jones Dome could begin taking shape this morning as the Convention and Visitors Commission gets a report on what the America's Center needs to compete with convention facilities in other cities.
There won't be any drawings or designs just yet, but just facts and figures like how much more meeting space, banquet space, loading docks, and the like. CVC President Kitty Ratcliffe tells KMOX even without football, the Dome is still a selling point.
In particular, the number of large conventions that we're able to get here that utilize the southern half of that Dome for very large general session group.
Ratcliffe says, though, one of the challenges is making it easier for people to move between the convention center and the Dome. She says today's report is the first step in a long process. Brian Kelly, News Radio 1120, KMOX.
Today's meeting is closed to the public and the press. Coming up in sports, Kenny Wallace breaks some news on KMOX. He is bringing stock car racing to the Dome.
Get this reporter out of here. I need some muscle over here.
Mizzou professor Melissa Click says she's embarrassed, and the confrontation you hear there does not represent the good she did that day. Missouri lawmakers filed an official complaint against Click yesterday over that incident where she asked for muscle to keep away a student journalist.
That was during a protest on campus over race relations. Click was on CBS this morning, and she would not review the tape on camera.
Want to see a bridge explode? We'll tell you how and when you can see that in 1 minute. KMOX News Time, 8:08.
Captain Roger Brand, Tori Lyons, 2 airborne reporters, the official traffic station, KMOX.
Listen to KMOX on your smartphone by downloading the radio.com app now at iTunes and Google Play stores.
Hi, this is Kathy from Blazefield.
KMOX News Time is 8:09. The news is sponsored by the Business Bank of St. Louis, where clients' prosperity is their measure of success.
Well, that's what it sounded like December 2012 when the Blanchette Bridge exploded and crumbled into the Missouri River.
And in less than 2 hours, another local bridge will come crashing down. Jessica Machetta has that live.
That's right, Debbie. The Boone Bridge, which was built in the 20s and 30s, will come down, and the first blast happens at 9:45. Now, that means the Interstate 64, will shut down both directions for about an hour, but the closures begin earlier at 9 o'clock. Ramps in that area will close. Folks who want to view that blast can gather here at the Chesterfield Athletic Complex, Lot A. They will have to walk about a mile through the viewing area. Reporting live from Chesterfield, Jessica Machetta, News Radio 1120, KMOX.
KMOX News Time, 8:10. Check of traffic and weather together as we do every 10 minutes on Total Information AM. Here's Captain Roger Brand in the KMOX Stiefel Airborne 1.
Well, if you're heading in on eastbound 64, you're still looking at backed up traffic from just east of Clarkson into Mason. There's pockets all the way in through 270 and 170. Looks like there might be a minor accident reported just before Big Bend. I'll try to check on that on my way back into downtown. If you're on eastbound 70, I'd call it just east of 94 now, in through 270. Still a lot of bumper-to-bumper traffic. 364, at least the right lanes are backed up west of Bennington on all lanes approaching 270. That's pockets all the way in through Chute, still pretty congested along that route as well. What's going on the other drives, Tori?
Roger, that accident still blocking the left lane northbound 141 at the Merrimack River Bridge. You're backed up to Centurion, also backing up westbound 44, exiting 2141. Volume eastbound 44 from Elm to Laclede Station, and delays northbound 270 44 to Doherty Ferry. Tori Lyons, Stiefel Airborne 2.
Here we go, the warm-up on the way. Sunshine giving way to clouds up to 58 degrees today as the wind picks up. That wind is going to gust to 40 to 45 miles per hour tonight as the temperature only drops down to 53, and then those temperatures rocket up in the low 70s with that gusty wind tomorrow. Clouds and sun stay in the low 70s Saturday. Maybe a shower late in the day and then a little cooler, but still mild Sunday. Clouds, limited sun, the high 63. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore with the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Right now we have a mix of sun and clouds, 37 degrees in St. Charles, 34 degrees in Edwardsville, downtown St. Louis, 36 degrees.
I'm Tom Ackerman at the KMOX Sports Desk. What's the latest on Yadier Molina? How's the all-star catcher doing? We'll get an update from Dan McLaughlin in Jupiter in 3 minutes.
KMOX News Time, 8:11. St. Louis County police officers will soon carry the heroin antidote Narcan. They'll begin training today. The county reported more than 90 heroin-related deaths last year.
Authorities are searching for 3 suspects after a police car was rammed in Ferguson. Officers spotted a stolen Chevrolet Wednesday night on West Florissant. Officers gave chase from Ferguson into St. Louis but did not catch the suspects. The car was found abandoned.
In Jefferson City, Michael Brown's mother fights to get police to wear body cameras.
Leslie McSpadden told a Senate committee she still doesn't know exactly what happened the night her son, Michael Brown, was shot to death by Officer Darren Wilson.
And please know that this isn't a black and white issue. This is a right and wrong issue. And I'm asking you today, will you stand on the side of what's right?
But committee members raised concerns about cost and protecting the privacy of bystanders and victims that are recorded. No police union representatives testified. The committee did not vote. Alex Degman, News Radio 1120, KMOX.
Yesterday, we told you about a proposal to open a bar in the Del Mar Loop where the wait staff is topless, covered in body paint. Now the owner of the property is putting the kibosh on that idea.
Dan Wald leases the building to John Racanelli, who wants to open the Social House 2. However, Wald has posted a statement on Facebook saying Racanelli's lease is over in 2017 and won't be renewed. That would make opening the bar a less attractive proposition.
I'm Brett Bloom. A public hearing for those who live near Coldwater Creek in North St. Louis County. The bottom line, should residents there feel like their safety is a top priority?
I think they should feel that their safety is improving, that the quality of life is improving from here on out, over the last 10 years.
From the KMOX Walmhoff Financial Planning and Accounting Services Business Desk, did you happen to catch this commercial during the Grammys?
Let go and enjoy the bold margarita. Lime-A-Rita.
St. Louis's Nelly is the new pitchman for an AB product called Bud Light Lime-A-Rita. By the way, a commercial during the Grammys goes for about $1 million.
At 8:19, our Bloomberg Market Minute, there's a good sign this morning on the job market. KMOX News Time, 8:13.
Say you have a medical emergency.
KMOX News Time is 8:15. Here's Tom Ackerman at the Newbold BMW Toyota Sports Desk.
Well, we have Blues hockey tonight. The Blues take on the Los Angeles Kings. It's a 7 o'clock face-off. We'll have the pregame at 6:30 on KMOX, and it won't be long before we're listening to Cardinal baseball.
KMOX News Time, 8:19, 60 seconds from traffic and weather together on Total Information AM. But first, our Bloomberg Market Minute, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano, Elder Law Attorneys. Stephen Potusk, it's not been a good year for the stock market, but there's a good sign this morning for the job market.
Yeah, very much so, Michael. New applications for unemployment benefits fell by about 7,000, hitting a 3-month low of 262,000. Analysts surveyed by Bloomberg had been looking for an increase over the prior week, and that does suggest the economy is adding more jobs than it's losing. So that's the good news. That is helping support a rally for stock futures, suggesting Wall Street may post gains for a 4th day in a row here. That'd be nice to see. S&P futures are positive by 5 points. NASDAQ ahead 15, Dow gaining 56. And while the news on the job market is good, there have been a lot of questions about the strength of the economy. And while he's been one of the Fed's most prominent advocates of higher interest rates, St. Louis Fed Bank President James Bullard says it would be unwise to move any further in light of weak inflation and global volatility. Bullard is a voting member of the Fed's rate-setting committee this year. For more business news, go to KMOX.com. With Bloomberg Business, I'm Steve Potusk on KMOX.
Hey, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together. Here's Captain Roger Brand in Stiefel Airborne 1.
Well, if you're traveling in on eastbound 64, it's still heavy through Timberlake and Mason, and it's hitting the brakes right at Lindbergh here. Now, there's an accident reported up near Big Bend. I'm hoping it's on the shoulder, but I'll check. But the delays are going to go from this point, Lindbergh up to Big Bend, eastbound 64. Westbound 64, Hampton through Bellevue. It's getting better, but still kind of heavy through there. Eastbound 70, Fifth Street, Blanchette Bridge area in through 270. There's still some slow pockets. 364, Bennington, the right lane's across 270, and then all lanes heavy through the Westport Chutes area after that. How are we doing another direction story?
They wrapped up the accident northbound 141 at the Merrimack River Bridge. You're still jammed at Hawkins. Heaviest either side of 44, northbound 270, and slow past Elm on eastbound 44. Traffic brought to you by LifeLock. Do you bank online, pay at the pump, use public Wi-Fi? If so, your identity could be at risk. Help protect it with the best. LifeLock. Enroll in minutes. Your protection starts immediately. Go to LifeLock.com. Use the promo code RISK. Save 10%. LifeLock.com. Tori Lyons from the Stiefel Traffic Center.
Sun giving way to clouds today, high 58 degrees. Low tonight, just 53, but winds gusting to 45 miles per hour. Windy and unseasonably warm, to say the least, tomorrow. Mix of sun and clouds. High 72, the record 76, set in 1930. Right now, clouds and sun, and 36 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 8:22. The St. Louis alderwoman who claimed bribery was going on around the recent NFL stadium vote skips a hearing where she was supposed to testify.
The podium was empty and the committee waiting, but there was no sign of Alderwoman Megan Green. Alderman Sam Moore showed up to respond to Green's claims.
I'm tired of being accused of taking a bribe, and whoever keeps accusing me, maybe you're taking a bribe.
Moore told the committee he did get some charity coats for children in his ward and says he wore none of them himself. He says he supported the stadium because of the promise of minority construction jobs. Kevin Killeen, News Radio 1120, KMOX.
A Republican state representative from Chesterfield has resigned at the House Speaker's request. Todd Richardson released a statement about Don Goson's resignation. Richardson said he requested it after learning of an unexplained, quote, situation. Richardson would not talk about the situation or whether an ethics investigation has been launched.
This is KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer. In 2014, hospitals in the state of Missouri spent $1.3 billion on uncompensated care, combining charity and bad debt. That's an increase of $193 million over the previous year.
KMOX News Time, 8:23.
Your news, your information, KMOX.
KMOX News Time, 8:30. I'm Michael Calhoun, and let's go straight away to Captain Roger Brand in KMOX Stiefel Airborne 1.
Well, new accident on eastbound 64 now reported in the left lane. They're sending EMS for it. Eastbound 64 just before 141, so look for a backup through Timberlake to there, make it a little worse. It was still heavy, though, east of 141 into Mason, and still bumper to bumper pretty much from Lindbergh all the way into Big Bend. They cleared that one at Big Bend off onto a parking lot, so it's no longer an issue there. Westbound 64 approaching Hampton through Bellevue is still pretty heavy and slow. And because of all that volume on 64, the left lane of southbound 170 is still on the brakes from just south of the Forest Park Parkway down to eastbound 64. How are the other drives in looking, Tori?
Still have some volume. Hawkins to 44 on northbound 141. They cleared the earlier accident at the Merrimack River Bridge. A leftover slow pockets northbound 270, 44 to Manchester, and your delay-free westbound 64 into and across the Poplar Street Bridge. Traffic brought to you by Subway. Subway has an amazing deal going on now for the entire month of February. Get all classic footlongs for just $6 or less each. All your favorites like the turkey breast Italian BMT and the chicken teriyaki are $6 or less each. Hurry into Subway today. Subway, founded on fresh. Tori Lyons from the Stiefel Traffic Center.
KMOX News Time, 8:32. Does St. Louis have what it takes to support a Major League Soccer franchise?
9 community leaders believe the city does and have formed a group called MLS to STL to formally back that bid. Spokesman Jim Woodcock says it's an idea whose time has come.
Our downtown is revitalized. There's a lot to like here.
if you're Major League Soccer and if you're an ownership candidate to bring Major League Soccer to any community in the United States, St. Louis has to be at the top of the list.
St. Louis is on the list of potential cities to host a new Major League Soccer team as the MLS considers expanding from 20 to 28 teams over the next few years. Brett Bloom, News Radio 1120 KMOX.
St. Louis's eclectic Cherokee Street faces a conundrum. Will longtime patrons bristle at politics being a part of the mix?
Cherokee Street has come a long way from a street of vacant storefronts to a hipster haven. It still has some problems with crime and notably vandalism. No politics on Cherokee was scrawled on the soon-to-open Bernie Sanders headquarters this week. Jeff Vines, who owns STL Style, says why not include politics in the mix? Cherokee has something for everyone.
I don't think we're in danger of losing our soul anytime in the foreseeable future.
Vine says Cherokee has maintained a good balance. Storefronts are filling in. There's plenty of diversity, and new tenants so far haven't alienated residents who've lived there for the long haul. Alex Stegman, News Radio 1120 KMOX.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis announces they'll be collecting bottled water to send to Flint, Michigan.
Club President Flint Fowler says young leaders at each of the 6 locations decided to launch the collection drive.
Yeah, well, I think it sends a message that though they're in St. Louis and these young people in another state, that they are connected, that they have common experiences, they have common challenges, but if they work together, they can come up with common and effective solutions.
The goal is to fill 2 buses with bottled water and drive them to Flint in March. You can donate water or cash through March 10th. Go to KMOX.com for a link to the Boys and Girls Club website. Carol Daniel, News Radio 1120 KMOX.
Racing cars along River to Pear Boulevard between Morgan Ford and Interstate 55 have neighbors afraid to pull out of their driveways. Sharon Husky says the 2-lane road has become a NASCAR speedway, and the city is ignoring their calls for help.
It's terrible here. We've fought with the city, we've fought with the alderman, we've fought with the mayor, we've fought with everybody to help us out here.
Police Chief Dotson, does he have anybody giving tickets down here?
Not enough. We used to have, but no. And every time we call about it, they say they're too short of police officers.
The first of 2 explosions to demolish the old Daniel Boone Bridge will be this morning. The 1930s era bridge became obsolete last June when a new eastbound span opened. The Missouri Department of Transportation plans to blast the old bridge at 9:45 a.m. The work will force the closure of all I-64 lanes in both directions for about an hour. A second explosion will take place at a later date yet to be determined.